Nick WOLTEMESSI. Bayern Munich, put that up your pipe and smoke it. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about Bayern Munich because I don't even want to give you the satisfaction tonight. Tonight was all about Newcastle United. It was all about Newcastle United getting their first win back in the Champions League. So we're going to review it all, talk about all the goals, talk about the individual performances, spoke about what I liked, spoke about what I didn't like, but I also want to hear your opinions in the comments because as the team sheet come out, I thought, we went strong here. We mean business. We want to go to Belgium, get a convincing win, and it certainly was a convincing win. Do you know what my favorite thing about this whole game was? Wasn't individual players, wasn't individual goals. It was the game management. It was a professional performance from Newcastle United, and I absolutely loved it. And it looked like Eddie Howard learned his lesson from the game against Arsenal, and he actually provided us some width. We had a nice balance about our squad. And that was the beauty of it, and that's how we broke down and really didn't give Union Saint-Gilloise a sniff in this game. But when the team sheet come out, I thought, I like that. We went strong. We mean business. We've got with two best centre-backs. We've got with three best midfielders. We've got with best striker playing up front. We've got with threatening wingers. Only one position, and this is no criticism of Dan Burn, I was worried about, and that is Dan Burn. But I did tweet this out as soon as the team sheets come out, and I said, the only way you play Dan Burn as left-back is if you use your wingers as touchline wingers. In fact, I spent all of today creating a tactics video that was going to come out tomorrow, and I just want to prove it that I've already actually said this, right? That's enough. So pretty much I was talking about how we can get Anthony Gordon, Anthony Elanga, our wingers, and Nick WOLTEMESSI combining and connecting together. And we're seeing a little bit of that tonight. And I just feel like the more they play together, the better it'll become. But I just wanted to prove to you that if that video comes out tomorrow, I'm not just doing it because we did this in the game. I actually made the video today, this morning. Anyways, I might still post it because I've got a few more ideas on there on how we can start playing out from the back because we've got two centre-backs who can certainly play out the back because they bring a lot more composure. But you know what? I don't want to talk about the game just yet because I want to talk about one man, and that is Nick WOLTEMESSI. And just in yellow there, as you can see, he will forever be known on this channel as WOLTEMESSI. If any of you guys call him anything else in the comments, I'm not going to be responding until you call him WOLTEMESSI because he is a pure joy to watch. He's 6'6", but the way he glides through multiple players with elegance is just majestic. Like, I've never known a man 6'6" with the ability to shift his body weight the way he does, the way he swivels, his little stubble feints to unbalanced defenders. Like, he can really move through traffic with the ball at his feet. But do you know what? He's got a touch of grace. He's got an excellent way he can maneuver in tight spaces. But do you know what the brilliance is of Nick WOLTEMESSI? What really makes his silkiness so good is that he's got the vision and the execution to find a teammate after. And the fact that he's got those qualities made us look more dangerous today because we were using Anthony Elanga and Anthony Gordon in advanced positions, everything we didn't do against Arsenal. What are the two things I've been crying out for in our team? One, keep players in advanced positions because when you overturn the ball, you've got a bigger chance to break on the opposition. But two, create width. Usually Lewis Hall creates our width because he's got the dynamism too, and our right winger stays on the right-hand side. And the reason why I say profiles and partnerships create a successful team, when you play with a centre-back at fullback, your winger has to create the width. If you play a dynamic fullback at fullback who's comfortable getting in advanced areas and has the quality in the final third, then your winger can come inside. Think about Lewis Hall at left back. He's got the energy to dominate the left-hand side. So when we're attacking and breaking on the opposition, he's got the energy to get up and down, but he's also got that quality in the final third, so he can offer you that width. Think about Dan Burn. Milk goes off quicker than he turns. He doesn't have the agility or energy to get up and down that touchline, and even if he does overlap, he's not going to give you the same output in that final third. So what he's going to do is probably be a little bit more positionally disciplined, so keep that in mind. Because against Arsenal, if we look at our average positioning today, then against Arsenal, it's completely different. We're a lot more narrow against Arsenal than we were today. Today, we stretched the pitch. By stretching the pitch, you're allowing Nick WOLTEMESSI to have more room in the middle of the pitch. You allow Sandro Tonali to have more room in the middle of the pitch. You allow Bruno to have more room in the middle of the pitch. So you're creating gaps to exploit. Ultimately, you're moving the opposition out of their position. But also, when you play against a five at the back, you want your wingers to be high and wide. The reason you do that is because that's where the space is. And that's why Anthony Gordon was getting so much joy. Anthony Elanga especially was getting so much joy in the wide areas. And the funny thing is, I spoke about that in my tactic video. I so wish I'd uploaded it before this game because we started to do everything I wanted us to do. Although it wasn't perfect and there was some inconsistencies, but the ideas were correct is what I'm trying to say. So getting back to this, I loved everything about Nick WOLTEMESSI's game today. His movement was exceptional. He was dropping deep. He was becoming an option in possession. And that's what you need when you're a midfielder and you receive possession. You need options in possession. So the way he moves to open up space for his teammates, again, plays to our advantage because we've got two quick wingers. So the more space we open up and allow them to exploit, the more dangerous we look. And every time Nick WOLTEMESSI got the ball, it felt like something was going to happen. Now, I want to talk about his goal because I've seen a lot of people saying, is it Sandro Tonali's? Is it a deflection? Or is it Nick WOLTEMESSI's? Well, Nick WOLTEMESSI, it's completely his goal because he improvised for that goal. The flick was just beautiful. He knew exactly what he was doing. That's what good and clinical strikers do. They have a split second to improvise, and that's exactly what he did. So you cannot sit there and say he didn't mean that. His foot clearly has a little backlift to it, which directs a ball into the bottom corner. A beautiful finish from a beautiful footballer. That's all I've got to say on Nick WOLTEMESSI. Can you tell I'm happy tonight because we've won? But going off the game itself, I thought in the opening 10 to 12 minutes, you could see both teams were feeling each other out. But after those exchanges, that's when we began to take control and we played some exceptional football at times. Do you know what the biggest difference was today against Arsenal? There was two actually. One, we kept players in advanced positions, being brave out of possession. But two, we'll move the ball a lot quicker. Our midfielders were a lot sharper in possession. And do you know why that is? Because we've got options to play to. Funny that, isn't it? If you're just sitting in a low block consistently and got no options in advanced areas, when you turn on the ball and look for options, you're going to be limited. And you're then going to take another touch to either play the ball sideways or backwards, and then you get tackled. That was happening consistently against Arsenal. So I really did think we won the midfield battle today. And I'm going to be honest, 70% of winning a football game is winning the midfield battle. I thought Sandro Tonali was technically excellent. Bruno was a lot sharper. Joelinton wasn't quite on it. We're going to talk about that very soon. But we were getting a lot of joys in the wide areas, especially Anthony Elanga's side. And everything else on this page is everything I've already spoke about. Dan Burn not being a left back, you need to provide width from somewhere else. And against the back three, if you exploit the space in the wide areas, that completely takes away everything they want to do. The reason being is because if you've got two high wingers, their wing backs need to come back and defend for the majority of the game. And we were doing that consistently. But another point, when you're playing against a back five, they have a double pivot in midfield. When we play a 4-3-3, we've got three bodies in midfield. My tactics that I was going to upload tomorrow speaks about the importance of overloads. We created our overload in the midfield, and that allowed us to control the midfield, and that allowed us to always have a spare man, which was normally Sandro Tonali tonight. So I want to give Eddie Howe credit because I thought he got it right tonight. Despite not me liking Dan Burn at left back, I thought the instructions that he gave to his players were correct. Remember what I was speaking about? You can set your team up in different formations. It's all about the behaviors you want them to do on the pitch. That ultimately is the makeup of your style of play. Okay, so tonight our biggest threat was probably Anthony Elanga. He was connecting well with Nick WOLTEMESSI as well as with midfielders. And then we go 1-0 up. Excellent delivery from Anthony Elanga on the right-hand side. That's exactly what I want to see from him. Getting the ball in early, trying to beat his man. Again, I don't mind if he loses the ball because wingers are going to be inconsistent. You want them to be as consistent as possible. And there was some inconsistencies today, if that makes sense. But naturally, wingers are going to make choices because they're the ones that need to take risks in possession. So I did feel like we controlled the first half, but there was some shaky moments from corners, which is quite unusual in Newcastle United because we're normally very good at defending corners. I feel like that Arsenal game is just psychologically impacted us a little bit. So we go 1-0 up from the Nick WOLTEMESSI goal, which I've already spoke about. And then we'll go 2-0 up. And it's Anthony Elanga again, being fearless, being direct, doing what wingers should do. And that is get at your man. He wins a penalty. And I must admit, Anthony Gordon's 2 penalties tonight were excellently dispatched. That will do him the world of good. This game tonight is exactly what Anthony Gordon needed. 2 goals. Might not have been his best performance, but he was energetic. He was putting the effort in, and that's exactly what you want because that's where you build your confidence. If you're shying away from the ball and not showing from the ball, you're not going to build your confidence. I say this 100 times. I'd rather my players show for the ball 100 times, lose the ball 50 times, they're not sure at all. And that's what I want from Anthony Gordon. I want him to be the man to get on the ball and try and make things happen. And tonight we're starting to see that. even from Anthony Elanga, and you can't say the same against Arsenal. Okay, I understand before you say it in the comments. Arsenal, St. Gilloise, there is a disparity in quality, but again, the ideas shouldn't change, is what I'm saying. So it was 2-0 at the break, and then we'll come out at half-time, and I'm thinking, let's just manage this game. Let's just control this game. And I'm going to be honest, I thought we started the second half quite sloppily. I'm going to be honest, I thought we started the second half quite sloppy. Dan Burn was getting caught out of position a few times, but after a little bit of trouble, our quality once again shone through. We looked dangerous, and again, started to keep players in advanced positions, which meant we could be positive when we overturned the ball. And then we won another penalty from a handball, again putting crosses into the box, trying to be dangerous, trying to make things happen, and again excellently dispatched from Anthony Gordon. And then we started making changes. Lewis Miley come on, which was good to see. Harvey Branes come on, and he scored again, so that'll give him the world of confidence. This is exactly what this game was made for. Building our confidence going into Nottingham Forest. 4-0 win away in the Champions League. I don't care who we're playing, is a great result. So it was good to see Harvey Branes come on, be positive, and get on the score sheet. So let's finish it off by talking about some individual performances. And let's start with the defenders, because I thought Malik Chow and Sven Botman are absolutely superb. The way they've easily, both of them, transitioned into this side together and not put a foot wrong is class. Both solid as a rock, and actually both offer composure in and out of possession. Even when they're defending, you can tell there's a sense of ease. And I thought, again, two exceptional performances from those two. Malik Chow. I mean, if Bayern Munich, it looks like Germans feel comfortable in Newcastle. So if Bayern Munich want to send any German players over, they can certainly do so. Because Malik Chow has been phenomenal since he's come into the side. And we all know the quality of Sven Botman. Honestly, these are becoming my preferred pairing. And then we had Trips at right back. We all know what's happened to Tino Livramento, and I wish him a healthy, speedy recovery. But in terms of Trippier, he didn't do anything overly amazing, but he wasn't poor either. It was just a steady performance, and that allowed Anthony Elanga to express himself. And then Dan Burn, I'm just going to say it. He's not a left back, please. Thank you. Moving on to the midfielders, and let's talk about Sandro Tonali, because once again, controlling the midfield in and out of possession. Does this guy ever stop? Like, I watch him and my eyes are getting tired watching him. Like, he is so good. His energy is relentless. His ability on the ball is madly underrated as well. He's just got a blend of everything. Aggression, energy, physicality, technical quality, and he understands the game very well. Do you know what I love about Sandro Tonali? He plays what the game needs. You know you've got a quality footballer that can understand what the game needs, and that's probably the biggest and best compliment I can give him. I thought Bruno looked a bit better today, especially in the first half. The biggest difference today than against Arsenal, he started moving the ball quickly, playing off his first touch, because you've got to think about Bruno. He doesn't have the explosivity or the pace to move away from players, so he's got to use his speed of thought, and I thought he did that today. He wasn't perfect, but it was a steady performance. Now, when I speak about Joe Linton, once again, he was a little bit quiet today, not at his best. He looked sloppy, and he could definitely improve his pass selection. I just don't feel like Joe Linton's imposing himself on the game like he has been. And then finally, the wingers. I thought Anthony Gordon dispatched these two penalties exceptionally well. He wasn't very much impactful, but he provided a threat. His energy was there. His movement was there. He was creating width when needed. He was running behind when needed. So if he just keeps doing the right things, eventually will click. And I thought Anthony Elanga was a big threat tonight. He was much better. He was getting on the ball. He was being positive. He was being direct. He was threatening. Exactly what you want and what you need from a profile like Anthony Elanga. Get him to isolate his man in one-on-one situations. Get him to cause problems. Might not always come off for him, but when it does, that allows you to open up as a space. Because what he does and provides affects the game in every single area. And again, I spoke about that in my tactical video as well. So I might actually post it tomorrow. Look. That's it. That's all I've got to say. I just thought it was a much, much better and positive performance, because don't forget, we were coming into this game with a little bit of lack of confidence. So I expected a shaky start, but the quality definitely shined through. Again, I want to reiterate, it wasn't perfect, but a 4-0 away from home is pleasing, and I've got a smile on my face. But look, I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments in the below, what you liked about the performance, what you didn't like, and are you excited for Forest on the weekend? So I want to hear from you guys, and don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, away the lads.